Hi everyone, Out of Wisdom speaking. Today is going to be the final session for what I would call the stage one step of my kick device creation, because there's going to be a stage two. I've already received a few suggestions and requests for improvements that I'm going to handle shortly, probably in the following time, maybe next week or the week after. In the meantime, my intention today is to finalize the device as it is now, with its structure, and have something which is completely usable from a kick creation standpoint. And then we'll discuss about what I'm going to be doing next. So let's get on to it. We can clean up a bit now. Our click is being rendered and inside the rendered kick, so we can remove all this as well. Actually, all the click information should go here now. I'm gonna drag this there and connect it here instead. No need to have too many running cables around, so we only have now this message. Let's open this and clean inside. So normally can remove all of this. There we go. This is useless. This is as well useless. We're not using this thing anymore. This as well, and I think we could just something a bit more readable, like now. Just bit more compact, that's it. Alright, so perimeter click for export is actually done. So we just now need to figure out if we want to put all of this in another window or just edit it from here, because I don't really want to duplicate the whole interface, which would be possible but quite cumbersome. So we can have this small interface in the main window of life, and then have a floating window with all the parameters replicated there, but with a bigger envelope. So maybe only these two could have a separate window. We've seen earlier that we can copy paste from one function to another one. So it's not really something complicated to do, but having just that window would I think it would look a bit naked. Other points as well, and we may just reorganize things a bit, as was thinking about having the pitch function driving as well, displaying the min max values, which would make a bit more sense. So when I'm displaying the pitch, I would have them inside around this, and if not, they're just hidden because I'm not technically working on the pitch. But the UI is not that cluttered. Let's just add for now some panels. I think that's the panel. Yeah, this is it. This is the live object. So just for decoration. So border color, let's use this one, and interior color would be empty. And we need to put border size to 1. Okay, roundness is a bit too high to me. And now we can think, let's zoom a bit. So we can have it something more readable. So let's remove this, increase the width a tiny bit. And I want to be able to display this, the name of the kick which I'm showing, which I'm the reference kick. So it would be nice to have this a bit bigger. Unfortunately, the way it's showed is quite bad. So maybe just it's something which I can grab from the actual object and display it however I want. Type code of the path name of the drop file. Because I just want the name. Because here we're going to have the full path. So probably if I send a message here and I send a bang there, I might get something which will contain the whole path of the sample, which is really too wide. Yeah, found that resources somewhere using the regex. Regex is a classic Linux, Unix command which allow to do complex manipulation on strings. So here an example will be removing anything which is before the slash, the forward slash, and only keeping the rest of the name. But yeah, I think it's always with a forward slash. Wouldn't work if we have backward slash. So if you're running Windows, maybe this wouldn't work. But I think that Max is able to correct that, and all file names are converted to this way. But then, if I'm just using this, so let's say that, of course, it's not a very nice way. So I can use something like that, and normally if I set, I can change this. So if I send set $1, no, there we go, and use that instead, you're gonna see that my text is now the name of the kick, or the sample which I'm using, which is exactly what I want. Here we have the same, but removing the extension, file extension, but having the wave is no big deal, so I'm happy with that. Of course, I don't want to have this in bold. Let's only, yeah, I want to show fonts. I'm gonna use regular. Classic Arial, and that's good. So now this text, let's hide this for the moment. So I can keep this ref kick and putting the name just below. So it's going to be nicer. Probably need to put that in smaller size. I'm going to do the same for the click. Let's be as precise as possible. I want to have the same height and reuse the same kind of technique. to get the click file name. And now it's going to be the volume of the reference kick. And we're going to put a panel around it. I'm going to distribute this vertically. This will as well be aligned to the bottom. Looks better. If you want to be very precise, sometimes you need to zoom quite a lot, but it seems okay. And here it's going to be drop, click. And here we're going to use, as we are working on the click, we don't need to repeat that, saving a bit of information. I don't need to put this in bold again. What was this? It was 8. So let's take the same font size. And we're going to align this to the right. So we have the second parameter here, which is the volume of the click. I can copy my panel. Is that better? Let's widen this a bit. If you want to have precise control, you command drag or control drag in the windows, so you have pixel level precision. Is this good? Yeah. I'm gonna lock the background so I can move everything at the same time. This can go, no, I don't want, this can go a bit lower, like so. And this box, I'm not happy with it, so let's increase that a bit, and do the same for this one, like 2 pixels. Did I make a mistake? good. And let's diminish a tiny bit. Yeah, so I have the full text. Yeah, that's a bit me control freaking, but it's better. And that save button shouldn't be there. And it's something which should be placed like somewhere like there, because it's something which happens at the full end. And I'm going to put a text. Something like that is probably more readable. Yeah, and I just need maybe it was not. Yeah, that's not the up. That's not the volume. By the way, we may need to have a volume for the reference kick, and here we actually don't have this information, so we have the volume for the click, but not for the reference kick if we want to switch back and forth. So maybe I need to add that on top of the, so we're going to take this. And send a message here. And the message would be ref kick volume, because it's only in the poly that we know. Gonna be $1 connected there. So all this has disappeared. So ref kick volume would it? Oh yeah. Okay. So it's a bit weird, but when I'm using the rendered kick, I'm gonna send the full power to here. We're gonna multiply the volume of my output with this value, like so. And so when I'm using the rendered kick, I don't want to shape the amplitude, because it's something which I'm doing in the amp envelope. But when I'm using the reference kick, instead I want to have this ref kick volume, which will be received there, and which we sent out to the same inlet, and it will contain, if I just change it here and switch back, you see now the value is here, but again I'm using the wrong outlet here because I'm having 100, so I need to have this one, which is between 0 and 1. I think it's enough. We may want to go up above 1 if the reference kick is a bit low in volume. So having something like 0 to 100% might be interesting. So 0 from 200, and in that case my right outlet would be half of my value. So I need to multiply this by 2 to get the proper value between 0 and 2. Alright, like this. And so my amp for the reference kick is actually going there. If I go up above 100, yeah, I still have, it's still displayed. And the default value, which has been set to 0, should be 100. Yeah, we'll have to start that later in all the default values and the parameters. So all this will be opacities. Or show. And so we have a waveform, which will be Arial. And the reference. And now it's again becoming a bit cluttered. Let's zoom in. Just making some room for all of this and correcting the width. This is wrong. Sometimes it's hard to align things properly, and it's better to put them, to get them out and do the alignment somewhere else. Yeah. So let's take all of this, making sure that everything is aligned to the left, then putting everything at the right width. As you can see here, not all the elements are the same width. Distribute vertically, so like that. So we still have this. Yeah, I think everything is properly aligned now, but this is too big. I want this to take the minimum height as possible. Is it okay? No, that's too big. So I need to compress that a bit. Pretty okay, yeah, that's good. A bit cluttered, but okay. So we need to put a default value for the click, 100. And we have a default value of 100 as well. Show waveform should be 100 as well. Waveform should be visible. And reference kick, let's say 50, so half visible. Let's freeze, save, and check what it does. Okay, got an issue here because my text box here goes bigger if I drop something which is not the right height. Maybe there's a parameter to prevent this. Yeah, set with truncation seems to be what we want. But we'll see if in terms of height it's going to change something. Let's give it a try. So my width doesn't change, so the width is 77. Yep. Where was I? Set with truncation, symbol, and width in pixel. Okay. So the symbol, we have it, and the width is 77. Let's give it a try. What is this one? It is adding height somehow. We have these 3 dots which are added. So maybe we have to truncate the text before setting it using ZL split. A slice. Oh, that's for lists. Wait a minute. Yeah, again, that's ZL. So I got this text here. Using atoi will actually convert each of the characters into its ASCII code. So the hexadecimal number representing the character. Then ZL slice will actually slice a list of numbers in 2 using only and sending to the left inlet the 32 first items and the rest to the right. And then itoa will convert back from these values into a string. So we have a way to shorten as we want. So I just need to figure out what the best, the right width is. So let's set, so get back to set and see how many characters we want to use. So actually I have this regexp, which is grabbing only the file name, then all this thing, and finally getting to here. Yeah, that's really the spirit of Max. All those boxes, I mean, complex things can be split into much more simple ones. So that's for, so let's say 32 is probably too much. Let's say 20 characters. It's probably closer to what we want. And gonna do the same with the click, which is, so that's here. Let's copy the same elements. And there's a slight mistake because I don't need this second part anymore. And there we go. Let's save and see if 20 characters is enough. This one Yeah, it's too much. 20 characters is too much. Let's lower that to 15. Yeah, it doesn't work. No, it doesn't work, but I think the width of this is not okay. Because the truncation actually works. So it's really not a problem with that. Maybe we have to freeze back. So let's get back to 20, because it seemed to be okay. I can remove this thing. And here 20 as well. Let's save and freeze again. Is it fine? Yeah, okay. When you freeze, you force as well Live to reload the file. So as you see, now it's okay. So we can drop. Let's drop something here. Does it work? Yeah, now I can't replace my click. So there's something wrong in my device, or maybe, let's see. Replace, yeah. Do we have any message? Can't open. Yeah, it doesn't replace the actual click. But with something, some kind of weird message. Sometimes you need to clean up. As you can see, it doesn't replace my click. So let's do something. Just removing the device. When you're editing, sometimes it just won't work anymore. So you have to remove it and load in again. There's something weird with the display. Oh, yeah. That's the D-1 is already too low, because I think that's something like 8 Hertz, which is very, very low. let's correct all this. Yeah, maybe getting down to the minimum value is not what we want. We can play with the default values to have something which is a bit more workable at first load, because if I just connect floating point here, you see that my that's maximum value. You see that minus, yeah, C-2 is really, really low. 8 Hertz. It doesn't make any sense. So we probably need to lock it to minimum value of yeah, something like 25 Hertz, or even, yeah, maybe 27, which is value 21. So this will be constrained between 21 and 137. So we are sure that that start is going to be alright, and the default value of this one is going to be 21, so minimum value, and by default this one will be, I don't know, current value is 83. It sounds interesting. This is stored. Yeah, the rest is stored, so it should be okay. I can remove this. And this should be empty default. It's a bit difficult because if I need to do that before freezing, so we don't have any reference text. Can we clear this somehow? I want to be clean when freezing the device. I want to have at least the minimum, the best information, something which is not cluttered by my work in progress value. This decay to 1 millisecond is definitely not the right start point. So let's say 10 milliseconds for the click maximum. When you double click, you get to the default value. Internal is the default. Run %. Yeah, this is for the name. And default length for the kick is definitely wrong. I want to have 50 milliseconds by default. So by default is going to be like 400 milliseconds, which is like 1/4 in at 140 BPM. Like so. And all right. It looks okay. Yeah, but here my knobs show wrong because it's not between 0 and 127, but between 21 and 127. Okay. Excellent. Now, just going to add one simple thing, which is the version number. And so this V0.3. And I need to put my logo somewhere. So this is the usual file which I'm using as my logo. So I put this usually not maximum opacity, and it should go somewhere here. I don't want to mess up too much with all which can be displayed here, so maybe here would be better, but it's a bit annoying. I know it's not a big deal, but when you do something, you want at least to have your name on it. And I probably need to put the device name here, which I haven't decided yet. So the kick is very simple and straightforward. This will be part of the background, so it won't cause any issues, but now it's probably, oh yeah, I've locked the background by the way, so unlock the background, put it where I want. Or maybe a bit bigger, but yeah. Oops. And a tiny bit less visible. Yeah, not too bad. I can freeze and save. And I think we have a working device. Oh yeah, don't forget to set the width. It's still the previous value. And there we go. So now the thing which we have to do is make sure that it's working. So I just remove it and load it again. Make sure that everything is working properly at load. So waveform is okay, length is okay, phase okay, values here okay. Don't have any reference kick, and if I press play, I have a very low kick, but whatever, it's not a problem. And there we go, we have a working kick. So I'm gonna share this version with my Patreon supporters, and next I will be waiting for maybe some comments from you guys, and make sure that we have if we have any requests or features, and waiting as well for my Patreon supporters to test the device and report back to me in case they encounter any issue. But we are definitely having something which is now ready to get used. Maybe we need to align this a tiny bit. It's a bit to the left. This is maybe too low. Let's change this default value. One final change, so 26 would be much more audible. D0. There we go. Save and freeze. Alright then, so you have it. This is my kick device. the stage 1 version. It's probably going to be renamed as version 1.0. It's a fully working device. It has a few improvements that I've been suggesting to do. They probably will be done in the next sessions, but still the device is ready as it is. So I'm gonna upload this version as version 1.0 to my Patreon supporters. So if you want to get this version, because it's not gonna be released officially and commercialized yet, so if you head to my Patreon, then you can grab it basically for free, only for the price of supporting me on Patreon. So I hope you have liked these sessions. I've tried to be as explanatory as possible. Probably sometimes I've been too slow explaining things or doing things. I didn't want to cut all these because it would have lured you into the impression that things were going really fast, and they sometimes are not going that fast. It's just that you have to think sometimes. So I've got a few times where I had to dig more information or search in the manual of Max and all that kind of stuff, but no big deal. You actually haven't missed any part of what I've done on this device. So thank you for your time. Thank you for spending the time with me and watching this video. And I hope you're going to be joining for the stage 2, which is going to start in the coming weeks, most likely second half of August. So see you guys. Thanks.